The following is a special presentation from this Fox television station. Almost 25 years, working undercover, exposing fraud and waste, holding people accountable and getting results. Fox 4's national award-winning investigative reporter, making a difference, fighting for you.
It's hard for me to believe that it's been almost 25 years.
Where are the signs? Why don't you show me the signs? The city ordinance says...
Hey, don't push me. Touch my camera. You're right.
Why are you contributing to the problem by selling this, by giving the addicts what they need to smoke the drug?
I don't need to show you now. Get out of here.
There have been so many stories.
We are a television station, and we think it's important that we address some of these problems on camera. Have you been stealing money from your clients? Me? Yeah. No. That's not you taking this money right here out of that container?
In the early days, I did a lot of undercover because people didn't recognize me.
It was so easy for me to get hired inside nursing homes. We wondered who else was on the payroll. We'd like our money back. If you really are psychic, why didn't you know I was a news reporter? Why couldn't you predict that we were doing an investigation on you?
But I was also dyeing my hair and wearing wigs and wearing glasses. And then it got to the point where everyone recognized my voice. Hi, I'm Becky Oliver with Fox 4. I'm Becky Oliver with Fox 4. I'm Becky Oliver with Fox 4. People ask me all the time what my favorite story is. And I can't say that I have a favorite story. There have been so many. And it's really the stories where we get the results that are the most rewarding.
Tell us a little bit about what's going on and why you did what you did.
Just 4 days after our story, FAM coughed up $326,000 and promised to repay the state another $80,000 over time.
Don't be scared.
Our investigation uncovered violence and crime at the North Texas Job Training Facility. Students battered and bruised, along with allegations of cheating and fraud. Now, the Department of Labor is telling the contractor no more.
That's what investigative reporting is all about.
Federal agents raided the offices of Alliance Healthcare Services in North Dallas, packing up boxes and hauling off files.
I'm doing 100 a month. But I'm 100 a month.
That was Ollie Futrell, caught by Fox 4's undercover camera, wheeling and dealing with some Medicare patients.
The media and investigative reporting such as done in this area is something that we're grateful for. It provides extremely powerful evidence.
It's about making a difference in your community, whether it's exposing a problem, whether it's getting a refund, whether it's someone going to federal prison.
After 3 years, Steve Lucky is finally hearing the word he's been waiting for: prison.
These guys were caught. They're going to be taken care of.
All the mortgage fraud stories were all favorites because it was such an ongoing thing, and it was what was happening, and you knew that it was going to have a big impact.
Man, this is working beautiful.
Patterson will spend nearly 4 years in prison and pay back more than $500,000 in restitution.
It was making the industry boom, and so nobody called anybody out on it until we met one couple.
What was happening here was just a microcosm of what ended up happening in the entire country. And then the whole housing market fell.
Good to meet you, sir. Back in 2005, Fox 4 started reporting on Farrington and his real estate dealings. He was the kingpin who helped investors or straw buyers purchase homes at inflated prices. He'd pay the sellers a kickback and pocket the proceeds. Farrington was found guilty on 32 charges of bank and wire fraud and money laundering.
If you hadn't brought it to light, that the result may have not been the same.
What felt really good about that story was the number of people that went to prison. It wasn't just Farrington.
Sir, you lied to me today. You told me you were out of town. You're not out of town.
It was Bob Patterson.
We don't talk about all.
And it was Jones and Jackson.
Do you have anything to say to any of the investors out there?
Don Jones pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 51 months in federal prison with no chance for parole. He was also ordered to pay $2.7 million in restitution. Another Fox 4 report that really grew into a much bigger investigation was the criminals working in child care. Ruffus collected more than $66,000 to care for kids.
We work on a lot of stories that have to do with fraud involving government agencies, where it's really the taxpayers that are getting ripped off.
The criminals in child care, that was very interesting because I remember when we started the story, I never thought never did I think that we would find what we found.
Fox 4 found some questionable caregivers cashing in.
The bad guys had definitely found the loophole, and they were tapping into a program, and they were getting paid to take care of kids.
In 2007, we reported that drug dealers, violent criminals, even registered sex offenders were collecting federal funds to care for kids. One provider was even getting paid while sitting behind bars for arson. No more.
My first reaction is, this is impossible. This couldn't be happening. But the reality is, it is.
A new law will require criminal background checks for family members collecting federal funds for in-home child care.
I think when people see the finished product on the air, it looks like, wow, we could throw that together in a day or two. And what people don't understand is maybe we've been working on this for 6 months or a year.
Since November, our Classroom Confidential investigation is focused on the Academy of Dallas. We uncovered phony teacher credentials, questionable school expenses, and the principal's daughter lying on her time cards. But it was this man who led to Walker's arrest on Friday.
We spend a lot of time poring over documents, a lot of time, and maybe it's just for one little nugget, but when you find that little nugget, that may end up making your whole entire story. So those documents are really, really important.
Walker hired convicted felon Andre Thomas as a cafeteria coordinator and janitor at the school. And we showed how week after week, Thomas was filling out time cards and collecting a paycheck while sitting in the Dallas County Jail.
Those stakeouts and the undercover that we've done, it takes a lot of time.
If it's truly happening, it will reveal itself, and so you have to be patient.
Sometimes the employees need as much monitoring as the offenders they supervise. Take Cassandra Ingram, a supervisor at the Dallas Parole Office. She carefully looks around before mixing herself a drink and chugging it down.
And what you drinking at in your car during the day?
I'm not drinking anything. I'm coming to smoke.
No, we have pictures of you in your car where you're coming out here and you're taking a bottle, and you're pouring something into a cup.
I have a Coke. I'm not talking, I have a Coke.
Once you see it, you have to anticipate how you're going to document it. So I think that's a very big challenge.
But at lunchtime, this quiet facility comes alive as workers pour out of the gates. And that's not the only pouring going on. In early March, we checked out a tip. We spot 2 trucks parked underneath a tree across the street from Lockheed, and then toss 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cans out the window.
Why are you drinking when that's a violation of your probation?
Why are you such a stupid? Why don't you film that?
Well, 13 DWIs. Don't you think that you? I mean, has the system hasn't taught you a lesson yet?
Arrested for prostitution, Miss Oliver.
For the 5 seconds that's on the air, it may have taken us a whole week to get that shot. And I think that's what always surprises people.
Tougher rules, more accountability, better protection. What do all of these have in common? Becky Oliver. Fox 4 investigations result in new laws and new ways to protect you.
It will give the consumer an upper hand.
This is what we mean when we say results.
2011, yeah, that was a big year. But we had 5 bills passed that year that were signed into law. Tougher rules, beefed up protection, more government regulation. The new laws are a big win for Texas consumers and taxpayers.
We can do the stories, we can bring it to light, but we still can't make the change until you can convince those people in power that there's enough people being affected for it to be done.
Coming up next.
Why are you using the handicap placards when you're not allowed to use that, ma'am?